sound is
you
even
have
coming
no
through.
idea. That's part of the problem.
What about if we put it right here?
Well, that's gonna. Oh, that is gonna work.
No, I meant like right here on the
Oh, you mean on
yeah.
like that?
I don't know if it would got both of us, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
that's good. There we go. All right, let's go live. Oh, I don't need to sign in. Just give me my thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, tripping. Why do you make me sign in?
What's your name ain't going?
Okay, well, shoot. That sucks. I'll do this our way. Hello, how you doing? This is Comic Strategy with Kings for Queens. So we're going to go ahead and get started. How you doing? As you know, on Sunday we had major glitches going on, most of which were beyond our control. So we decided we need this episode to be done. So we are here to do it again. So, as you know, I'm Comic Strategy, JS to my left, which looks like to your right.
Right, yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and get started. So, talking about notes out. So anyways, how you doing? So we started out last week looking at dating in particular. And what we were looking at was the whole process of dating and asking the question whether or not should it be redone. So we decided to get rid of the entire foundation of dating, the good, the bad, the ugly, and start from scratch and decide, hey, so what should be in the process of dating? So that's where we're at right now. Okay, so my first question is coming up in a second. Oh yeah, by the way, I guess the Jazz Festival was amazing.
No, it was hot. It was hot. It was very hot. And they really didn't have any Wi-Fi. Well, not even Wi-Fi, just coverage out there in the middle of the park. I guess it was so many people out there, and everybody on their phones. So you know how that goes.
Yeah. Okay, so my questions are now here, so we can actually ask them. So, question one: what elements? Oh, yeah, so let me set this up again. I'm tripping. It's Tuesday, so I'm not on my game right now. Not that that's a good excuse. Anyways, we are now looking at what we should add as we start to lay the foundation for dating. What elements need to be a part of the foundation for a healthy dating process? Yes.
Well, if you're just breaking everything back down, you have to really think about, do you have to, being these days, stuff is, a lot of stuff that we did back in the day, we cannot do now at all. Because it is,
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it just doesn't work at all. So half the stuff that you did as growing up, I'm thinking the stuff that I did in Detroit of talking to women and putting your hands up like, hey, what's going on? You want to kick it? It's just some of the stuff that we did back in the day, we just can't really do anymore. It's a whole different ball game that we have here now.
Yes.
So you figure internet dating is normal now compared to you quicker to meet somebody online than you are out in public, And you figure back in the day, you used to really think like, all right, where can we go to go meet some women at?
Yeah.
Now, that isn't the case. You are basically by yourself, you know what I mean? And you meet who you meet. So basically, I think that as a foundation, it's almost like we are really restarting all over again on how we're getting into the dating game. And it's hard because women want different things and men want different things. And everything is changing, even for ladies. You know what I mean? Even for ladies, it's not like it used to be. So, like when you say us.
So the elements. What elements?
Back to the elements. Back to the
that
elements.
Was good though.
The elements. But back to the elements. I would say it's not even based on. It's based on looks still.
So elements to need to be a part of a foundation for a healthy dating process
Yes.
is you need to ascertain looks.
You need you need that attraction.
Okay.
That's
Attraction.
first. That's
Better
first.
word.
That's
Attraction.
first. The
Okay.
attraction. Yes. The
Okay.
attraction, and second part is even after the attraction. The second part is just basically the conversation. The conversation.
Conversation.
Because
Okay.
without the conversation, the looks don't matter.
Now they did say in all the research that I looked at, they said
Yeah.
the conversation has to be healthy. And
Yes,
a healthy
definitely.
conversation means that you have a mutual respect for each other immediately. Not that it's earned,
Yeah.
but that it's imputed, because if it's not, you're automatically going to go in like, all niggas is this, all women is this, and that's part of the problem. So you got to go in with the thought process that you're both in this for the right reasons until the red flags come up. So I'm going to give you my points. So
Yeah.
I think in order to have a healthy dating process, you need to have proper precautions. You need to have a healthy mental state, and you need to have resolution of past events. So what do I mean? You can't be going on a date with baggage and expect it to work, because it's probably not. Even if it does for a while, it eventually is not.
Don't bring it up at the
You
beginning.
can't have the last guy I was with threw acid on me. Real talk. I had a date where a lady, actually it wasn't a guy, but her son threw bleach on her face. She came to the date anyway, with the bleach burns
The
and
son,
everything.
her son,
Her son,
threw bleach on her.
yes. And so
Wow.
yeah, so the date didn't go very well after that.
This was a date that you was on.
date that I was on. Yes.
How was her son?
He was like 21, living in a house, and she was talking about how he doesn't pay any bills, but he eats all her food and cusses her out, even physical. So I'm like, okay, this is not even a relationship. You have a relationship with your son, right?
Was that your last date?
But because of that, you're on this date. You have other things you need to figure out, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's too much. That's too much for me.
Well, it also
Yeah.
goes into the healthy mental state.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean, if my son threw some bleach on me, no matter how I handled it, I would not be in a healthy mental state to go on a date that night. Rescheduling works. It's not a bad thing.
Well,
No shows, that's another story altogether.
There would be a lot to talk about on a date, though, depending on if she has a good sense of humor. I would know.
You know,
there would be,
you know,
you know what I mean?
that is true.
And if you are willing to talk about it in a humorous way, I can see it being good conversation. But she might not look at it that way. She might look at it like, okay, I need to exit this.
Yeah, my son is throwing bleach on me.
Yeah.
That's not a.
I'm sure she don't want to meet my man. You know
I mean,
what
unless she's a comedian, and even
Yeah.
then, she's probably gonna have an issue with that.
Yeah, I think she might have a problem with that.
But then the first one I said is proper precautions. So you need to be able to set the thing up properly. So what do I mean by that? Kind of set yourself up for if things go wrong. You have a game plan. One typical thing is you go on a date, the guy invites you, but he's like, "Can you pay for this?" And you're like, "Okay, I got it." You take care of at least your part, and then you leave. That apparently is not a good date, and it shouldn't be if a guy takes you out and then he expects you to pay for it, unless he's verbalized that ahead of time and you said okay to it, which usually that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
So, question 2.
Yeah.
And this is things that we are saying that you need to lay the foundation of dating. What precautions are needed in detail to lay the proper foundation of dating? Yeah.
You gotta really know what you're stepping into. Just like the example you just gave.
Yeah.
It's so weird when a lot of ladies say, talk about their first dates with brothers and how, like, can you believe he showed up and he didn't have no money and he invited me on a date?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I know it happens out there. I wouldn't want to be put on the spot like that, but I guess some dudes still go through it and do it, but a lot of precautions, you want to just, well, here's one. It's always good to Google everybody that you go on a date with.
Okay.
It helps because then at that point, before you get there, you find out if the dude might have mugshot cases against him pending, make sure he ain't no kind of child predator, anything like that. Hey, I've had it done to me before. You know what I mean? So it is. But at that way, at least you know who you're dealing with.
It's legitimate pros and cons.
Hey, for dudes too. Hey, you Google her ass
Well,
too.
It's that day and age where
Yeah.
people do background checks. I still don't. I don't agree with that thought process. If you Google my name, there's a lot of Damon M. Jacksons, which is my government name, that have done very evil things, and I'm not one of them.
You're being Googled right now, brother.
They've done very evil things, and I'm not one of them. So I would already be out. And in fact, I know for a fact that's probably some of the reasons why the date actually never happened. I set the date up, and it was no show.
No wonder you don't
because she Googled my name, and my name came up with all these crazy things. And
was your picture connected to it?
Well, I've done a Google on myself, and there was no pictures connected to those. But
Okay.
that doesn't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a common name in America, so you gonna
it's now a common name.
Yeah, you gonna see some crazy stuff comes up. You know what
But
I mean?
so I wouldn't just use Google. I guess you can do that. I don't. Maybe I should.
Or you can pay the $35 a month and do a background check, and it goes extensive if that's what you want to do.
So, are we suggesting doing background checks before we do dates? That's
Nah. But let's say if y'all been on a couple of dates or whatever, and you just want to make sure, women gonna do that.
Well, a couple of dates is even. Well, if you're gonna do it, you should do it right away. You should do it after a few dates.
Yeah. If that's what you're gonna do, you might as well. You know what I mean? Set your mind at ease. But at the same time, I've Googled women that I've dated. Like, dang. But she got charges, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I mean? She got charges.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm like, I don't know. I kind of back and forth on that. I don't do it. I don't plan to in the future. That is something I guess you could add. It is a way of checking the background and checking what you're dealing with. And I know a lot of women that do that.
If it feels like something is too good to be true, you might want to check it. Especially with women. If she just acts a little too weird, the same thing with men. Yeah. If something is just like, wow, she just really, you know the feeling. You gonna end up checking. You know what I mean? Or like they do with people, and when you find out when women check dudes' Facebook page, find out like they married, they just got married or whatever. Like, I've heard a lot of women tell me stuff like that, and I'm like, dang, that's scandalous. Like, yo, but this type of shit happens. This is 2019.
Well, so we are kind of split on this. I actually do not advocate doing the background checks. I mean, you can. I have a little bit of a process, and I would say observation of red flags. Respect due, honor your word, time, place, location. So these are precautions that I would put in detail. So what do I mean by that? So observation of red flags. Don't ignore them. What happens is we go on this great date. I mean, I'll just say it for myself. She looks good. She smells good. Everything she's saying is exactly what I want to hear. It's just so good. There's a red flag. Like, her car is the raggiest thing I've ever seen in my life. So then you're like, huh. But you ignore it. It's like, because it ain't about cars, right? But then you go to her house and realize she is the dirtiest person. And you're just like, oh. So I'm not saying that you act based on that red flag per se, but you don't ignore them. You put them on observation, put them to the side.
That shit ain't changing. If her car and her house is like that,
it's
yeah, she's dirty. She's dirty, and your house gonna be dirty.
yes. So, second thing, I said respect due. So, if during the first, second, or third date, he says something off candor, or he talks about women as bitches, or he says, I had a couple of hoes, or he just says something asinine to you that's not really respectful, you can't ignore that. Because if he's doing it now, he's going to definitely elevate that later. That's one of those red flags that turns into a whole red country. So you definitely cannot ignore that. Third thing, honor of your word. So if a man says he's going to be there at 7:30, and it's 7:45, and he has not called you and said he's running late, you you don't have much there. He doesn't even honor his own word. So he wants you to trust him, but he can't even trust himself. Because, people are going to be late. But if you're late, guess what you do? You make a phone call, you text her, hey, I'm running 5, 10, 15 minutes late. And then that's cool. So then the fourth thing is time, place, location. You should not be having your first date at the house. You should not be having your second date at the house. You should not be having your third date at the house. I mean, hey, I've done a Netflix and chill with chicks. It's great, but it only becomes a sexual relationship. If you want more than that, he needs to respect that. He shouldn't be inviting you to his house. You should not be going to his. If that's a problem, if that is at all a problem, that's an immediate move on, because that should never be a problem. You should want to get to know somebody. So,
I mean, that's true, but I like dates at the house. And it's
well, you get to that though. The first thing you have is not at the house.
Dates at the house. All right, look, y'all go out to eat first, and then continue all the dates at the house.
Okay, so if you want that later on, great. But I would say the first 3 dates, don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the first 2. First 2 have to be at a different location. I get my fingers in the camera. Different locations. But after that, if you want to go ahead, if it's going that good, you can go ahead and do that.
You never know.
And then time. If he's calling you at 10 o'clock, his expectations are going to be different than at 5 o'clock. It is what it is. Now, he could say, I work second shift, and that's when I'm available. And you can take that risk, but remember,
What you talking about? If he's saying he want to go out
at 10 o'clock.
at night?
Yeah, first date.
Well, it depends. She might be a nurse or something, or they just like getting out, late at night. It just depends. But if maybe you should go further back on the time. If you say 12 or 1, you know what I mean? If he call you at 1 o'clock, like, hey, you still up?
Yeah.
And then ain't nothing wrong with that either. That's what y'all do.
So in the council of dating, trying to lay the proper foundation, you probably don't want to go out with 10 p.m. dude or 1 a.m. dude. If he works second shift and his hours at work, then there's always the weekend. If he doesn't have time on the weekend, he don't have time for you. A guy that's interested is going to make a way to make it happen. Period. If he's forcing you to have to make that move, he is going to do that in a lot of other things.
What about if it's if a woman calls you at 10 o'clock at night?
Okay.
Would you take the date?
Well, it's different for guys. So that's a whole different story.
So that's what it's a split thing.
But if a guy's calling you at that night, it's very different than if a woman.
You're talking about at the beginning stages.
At the beginning stages. If it's much later on, we're not talking about. We're talking about at the beginning stages.
At the beginning stages, it might be.
Yes.
But if y'all met at a club or something and y'all both up that time night, that's probably what you do. But I don't know. I'm just trying to be.
Well, that's a whole different story.
That's a whole different stuff.
Yeah, you try to root for the brothers. And I hear you. I understand, but
I'm just trying.
I'm telling the ladies,
trying to be optimistic.
You talk about 10, 10:30. You have to say no to that.
Yeah.
And hey, I've done it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Unless you are really hungry and he's like, yo.
No,
want to go grab something to eat?
You ain't that hungry.
You know what I mean?
You can get yourself something to eat. You can go to Wendy's by yourself. I wouldn't necessarily advise that, but yeah.
You just came from the club. Bam, Waffle House time.
Oh man. Okay, so okay, where we at? So what things do you need to avoid adding as we're trying to lay this foundation? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one. So past events, assumptions, and too much information. Actually, JS kind of told me on this one because I was going on a date and be telling everything on the first date. That's not a good idea.
Nope.
No one wants to hear all that. They're trying to figure out if they even like you. And you give them 5 billion pieces of information, that's not a good one. So, and then in terms of assumptions, you have to throw assumptions out the window. Okay. I guess you can assume that if a man's trying to talk to you, he eventually wants to have sex with you, but that's obvious. But the other assumptions, no, throw those in the trash because you don't want to assume anything. Let him tell you or let him show you. That way you don't think, well, I thought you already know. He didn't say it, it didn't happen. And you could even ask a question if you have a question. And I'm definitely an advocate of asking questions. If you need answers, ask the question. Do not be the person that doesn't ask because he's like, why ask all these questions? He ain't the one. Period. And then third, too much information, I've done it. You don't want to do that. In the passive vets, if you have passive vets, your brain, it's an instant fail because you can't take what happened in the past into what happens today because that's a whole different person, whole different situation. You're even different. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't give too much information because that shit can backfire you in the long run. Like, oh, didn't you tell me that? Oh, I did tell her that shit. You feel me? So don't, you don't want to tell them too much information, and with that information, you just know what to say and what not to say. Because I'm sure you've met that female, and she was like, yeah, I used to, I had a threesome with him, but we was cool. And you was like, oh shit, no, she didn't just say that.
Yeah,
no, she didn't just say that.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, then you like, damn. And then she like, he got mad because it was two dudes. And you like, oh gosh, I was like, yo, I gotta exit this quickly. You know what I mean? But yeah, you don't want to give too much information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
So we're gonna stop there. We're gonna come back probably about 30 minutes, but we wanted to at least get this process started today. So we started with at the Foundation of the Council of Dating, and I think we have a lot of good information to start with. We're gonna talk when we come back next. The Friend Zone. If for some reason you're not able to watch this live, we're gonna be live. We're gonna record this so you can watch it later. So stay tuned. Thanks again. This is Common Strategy JS Kings for Queens. We'll be back shortly.